When people talk about Alan Rickman's career, they often mention villains first. Hans Gruber in Die Hard, cold and calculating. Severus Snape in Harry Potter, enigmatic and morally gray. But there is another role that shows just how extraordinary he was as an actor, one that proves his subtlety, his humanity, and his power to break our hearts without ever raising his voice. That role is Colonel Brandon in Sense and Sensibility. And today I want to talk about why this might just be Alan Rickman's best performance. When Ang Lee's adaptation of Sense and Sensibility was released in 1995, it was lauded for its beauty, its wit, and Emma Thompson's brilliant screenplay. It is often described as a film about the Dashwood sisters navigating love and hardship. But if you watch closely, there is another story unfolding quietly at the edges of every scene: Colonel Brandon's unwavering, unspoken devotion. Alan Rickman does not get the showiest moments in the film. He is not the dashing young Willoughby who sweeps Marianne off her feet with poetry and charm. He is older, reserved, dignified almost to a fault. He stands in doorways, watches from afar, and listens when others speak. He gives Marianne his attention, his time, his heart, long before she notices him at all. Rickman plays Brandon as a man who has suffered. He is marked by past tragedy, but he carries it with a kind of grace that is devastating to watch. Every line is delivered with that unmistakable Rickman cadence, slow, deliberate, but aching with feeling. When he tells Eleanor about the girl he tried to save, his voice breaks just slightly, enough to show you that the memory is still raw. He does not overplay it. He does not need to. You see everything in his eyes. That is the genius of this performance. It is a masterclass in restraint. Alan Rickman knows that Colonel Brandon cannot compete with Willoughby's youthful passion in obvious ways. He is the opposite of flamboyant. He expresses love not through grand gestures but through steady presence. He is there when it matters. When Marianne is sick and dying, he is the one who carries her through the rain to safety. He sits by her bedside with hollow eyes, utterly undone but determined to help. He does not need her to love him back in that moment. He just needs her to live. Rickman makes us see the nobility in that quiet, patient love. It is easy in fiction to be drawn to the reckless romantic hero, but Colonel Brandon is the man who steadies, who waits, who proves himself not with words, but with action. Alan Rickman captures that with breathtaking honesty. He lets us see the pain of wanting something he thinks he cannot have, while never making it feel selfish or pathetic. His love is dignified, generous, and all the more moving because he never demands anything in return. It would have been easy for this character to seem boring, especially next to Greg Wise's charismatic Willoughby, but Rickman steals the film without ever stealing a scene. He understands Austen's subtlety. He knows Brandon is not meant to be a rival in the usual sense. He is not there to outshine Willoughby's charm, but to reveal its hollowness over time. By the end of the film, you realize the real romance was there all along. The quiet moments, the small kindnesses, the constancy that waits for Marianne to grow up and recognize it. Alan Rickman's Brandon also has a wry sense of humor, even in his seriousness. Watch how he reacts to the gossip and meddling of the surrounding characters with dry amusement. He is not humorless, he is simply observant. Rickman gives him just enough twinkle in the eye to remind us that he is fully alive, fully feeling, even if he rarely speaks those feelings aloud. There is also something deeply compassionate about how Rickman plays Brandon's attraction to Marianne. He does not leer, he does not try to manipulate her or win her over. He recognizes her youth and her idealism. He sees himself in her heartbreak because he knows what it is to lose everything. And when he finally wins her love, it is not a triumph, it is a relief. A quiet miracle that he did not dare hope for. The final scenes of the film are beautiful precisely because of Rickman's understatement. When Marianne finally accepts him, there is no gloating, no fireworks, just deep emotion that has been dammed up for too long finally breaking through. His face softens, his voice catches, and we see not a conqueror, but a man who cannot believe his luck. it is the most romantic moment in the entire film, precisely because it feels so real. Many actors can play villains with flair. Alan Rickman was famous for that, but Colonel Brandon is the performance that proves his depth. His ability to make stillness captivating, his mastery of suggesting oceans of feeling with a single glance or shift in tone. It is a role about kindness, patience, and enduring love, and Rickman makes it unforgettable. For me, it is his best role. Not the most famous, not the most quoted, but the one that shows us exactly what he was capable of as an artist. The one that shows us why he was so irreplaceable. If you have not watched Sense and Sensibility recently, I encourage you to see it again with this in mind. Watch for the quiet man in the corner of the frame, the one who says little but feels everything. Watch Alan Rickman give one of the greatest, subtlest romantic performances ever put on film. Until next time, keep your petticoats pressed and your hearts in peril.